I told myself I would never speak about the corridor again. I deleted every file, every screenshot, every backup. I even destroyed the hard drive that held the original recording. For 3 weeks, I slept without dreams. The headaches disappeared. The feeling of being watched slowly faded. I convinced myself that whatever had happened was over. Then my phone rang. The number was unknown. I answered. No one spoke. I listened for nearly 10 seconds before hearing something strange. Footsteps. Slow. Measured. Echoing down a metallic hallway. My blood froze. I knew that sound. It was the corridor. I ended the call immediately. Seconds later, my phone vibrated again. This time, it wasn't a call. Someone had sent a video. No sender. No file name. No thumbnail. Only a timestamp. Midnight. I stared at it for almost a minute before opening it. The screen stayed black. Then, a voice whispered, "You deleted the copy, not the memory." The video ended. Exactly 3 seconds later, someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 slow knocks. The exact rhythm I'd heard echoing inside the corridor. I looked through the peephole. No one was there. But taped to my door was a single photograph. It showed me, standing inside the corridor. The problem was, I had never taken that picture. The photograph looked old. Its edges were yellow. Small cracks ran across the surface, as if it had been hidden away for decades. Yet the person in the picture was unmistakably me. Same face, same jacket, same scar above my eyebrow. Only one thing was different. I was smiling. Not a normal smile. The kind people wear when they've already accepted something terrible. Behind me, the endless hallway stretched into darkness. The lights weren't blue anymore. They were red. Every single one. On the back of the photograph, someone had written 6 words. "You stayed longer than you remember." I checked every security camera in my building. No visitors. No deliveries. No movement outside my apartment. According to the footage, no one had approached my door all morning, which meant the photograph shouldn't have been there. Unless it had always been there. That night, I couldn't sleep. At exactly 2:17 a.m., I heard footsteps above my ceiling. My upstairs apartment had been empty for months. The footsteps stopped directly over my bed. Silence. Then, one loud knock. Not from the ceiling. From underneath my bed. Every instinct told me not to look. Instead, I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. The room was empty. The knocking came again. 3 slow taps. From beneath the mattress. I forced myself to kneel. The light swept across the floor. Dust. Boxes. Nothing else. Then my flashlight caught something impossible. There was another phone lying under my bed. It was the same model as mine. Same scratches. Same cracked corner. Even the wallpaper was identical. When I unlocked it, it opened without asking for a password. The gallery contained only one folder. Its name was simple. Before. Inside were hundreds of videos. Every single one featured me. Eating breakfast. Working. Sleeping. Driving. Some were filmed years ago. Some had timestamps from next month. One video was labeled, "Tomorrow." My hands trembled as I opened it. The recording showed me sitting exactly where I was now, holding the same phone, watching the same video. Then, the version of me inside the recording slowly looked away from the screen and stared directly into the camera filming him. Someone else was in the room. The camera moved. Very slowly. The person recording stepped closer. I expected to see a reflection, a shadow, anything. Instead, the camera passed a mirror. The mirror reflected only me. No camera. No person. Nothing. Whoever filmed the video had no reflection. The recording continued. I watched myself freeze. The version of me inside the video whispered something I couldn't hear. Then every light in his apartment went out. For nearly 15 seconds, the screen stayed black. Then came breathing. Not mine. Not his. Something deeper. Slower. Almost mechanical. When the lights returned, I was gone. The chair was empty. The apartment was empty. The camera slowly turned toward the hallway. Standing there, was the smiling version of me from the old photograph. He raised one finger, placed it against his lips, and whispered, "You haven't disappeared. You've just changed places." The video ended. Outside my bedroom, someone laughed. I rushed into the hallway. Empty. Kitchen. Empty. Bathroom. Empty. Every room looked exactly as I'd left it. Then I noticed something impossible. Family photographs hanging on the wall. I don't own family photographs. I never decorated this apartment. Yet there they were. Dozens of framed memories. Birthdays. Graduations. Vacations. Every picture included me. But every face around me was blurred. Not damaged. Blurred. As if reality itself refused to remember them. One frame stood crooked. I lifted it from the wall. Behind it, someone had written directly onto the plaster, "Welcome back." Below those words, another sentence had been scratched with something sharp. "This is the apartment you left, not the one you came from." At that exact moment, my phone vibrated. A notification appeared. No app, no sender, just one line. "The corridor isn't following you anymore. It's waiting for you to remember how to return." I wish I could tell you I ignored that message. I didn't. Because deep down, a part of me already knew the way back. The next morning, I left my apartment determined to prove I was losing my mind. Fresh air, sunlight, people, reality. The city looked exactly as it always had. Cars filled the streets. Children laughed in the park. For a moment, I almost smiled. Then I noticed something strange. Nobody was looking at their phones. Every person I passed stared straight ahead, expressionless, as though following invisible instructions. A little girl stopped beside me. She couldn't have been older than 8. She looked up and asked quietly, "Did it find you again?" Before I could answer, her mother grabbed her hand. "I'm sorry," the woman said nervously. "She talks to imaginary people." They hurried away. The little girl kept looking over her shoulder. Not at me, at something standing behind me. I turned around. No one. Just my reflection in the window of a closed cafe. Except, my reflection wasn't turning. It remained perfectly still, watching me. Then it smiled. Not with happiness, with recognition. I stumbled backward and blinked. The reflection copied the movement. The smile vanished. People walked between me and the glass. When they passed, everything looked normal again. I convinced myself it had been stress. Nothing more. Until my phone buzzed. A new video had appeared. Length, 3 seconds. I pressed play. The camera showed the cafe window from the opposite side of the street. I watched myself staring into the glass. Then the recording zoomed in. There were 2 reflections. One belonged to me. The other stood directly behind me. Tall. Impossible to describe. Its outline flickered like a damaged television signal. As the video ended, a message appeared. "Stop looking for the corridor. It already found another entrance." I looked up. Across the street, construction workers were sealing the entrance to an underground subway tunnel. One worker suddenly froze. He slowly turned toward the darkness inside the tunnel. Then he walked in. Without a flashlight, without speaking, no one tried to stop him. The workers waited. 5 minutes. 10. 15. The man never came back. Finally, 2 others entered to look for him. They returned almost immediately. Confused. "There isn't a tunnel anymore," one of them whispered. "What do you mean?" another asked. "It just ends." Police arrived. The area was closed. I shouldn't have crossed the barrier. But something inside me already knew what I'd find. The tunnel walls were covered with fresh concrete. No openings. No side passages. Nothing. Then my eyes landed on a single handprint. It had been pressed into the wet concrete before it dried. 5 long fingers. Far too long to be human. Written beneath it were familiar words. "You were here." My heartbeat slowed. Not from fear. From memory. Without thinking, I placed my hand against the print. For 1 second, the concrete became transparent. Behind it, I saw the corridor. Its endless light stretched into darkness, and dozens of people stood perfectly still along both walls. Every single one looked exactly like me. They weren't clones. Not exactly. Some were older. Some were younger. One wore a military uniform. Another had gray hair. One was covered in blood. Another was smiling exactly like the photograph. Every version of me stared forward without blinking, until one finally turned. He looked directly at me. His lips moved slowly. I couldn't hear the words, yet somehow, I understood them. Don't let them replace you. The concrete became solid again. I fell backward onto the floor. When I looked up, the handprint had vanished. So had the writing. The police officer helping me to my feet frowned. Are you all right? Before I answered, he asked another question. Haven't we met before? I shook my head. He looked confused. I could have sworn. He stopped speaking. His expression became distant. Then he quietly whispered, I remember attending your funeral. The officer blinked once. His confusion disappeared. I'm sorry, he said. I don't know why I said that. Neither did I. But someone remembered burying me. That night, I searched every public record I could find. Birth certificates, employment records, hospital files, property documents, everything connected to my name. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Then I found an archived newspaper from 12 years earlier. The headline read, Local student missing. The photograph beneath it made my blood run cold. It was me. According to the article, I had disappeared during a school trip. My body was never found. I read the article again, then checked the publication date. It wasn't fake. It wasn't edited. According to every official record, I had vanished 12 years ago, which raised one impossible question. If I disappeared back then, who had been living my life ever since? As I stared at the screen, another notification appeared. No sound, no vibration, just 6 words. You're reading the wrong timeline. The lights in my apartment went out. Somewhere in the darkness, someone whispered my name. This time, it wasn't trying to scare me. It sounded relieved, as though it had finally found the person it had been searching for. I didn't move. The apartment was completely dark. Only the glow of my phone lit the room. The whisper came again. My name, slow, gentle, almost familiar. It wasn't behind me. It wasn't in front of me. It sounded as if the walls themselves had learned how to speak. Then every electronic device in my apartment switched on at once. The television flashed to life. Static. The radio crackled. No station. The microwave display began counting backwards. 30, 29, 28. I unplugged it. The countdown continued. Every clock in the apartment showed the same impossible time. 3:33. None of them moved. The whisper returned. You're almost awake. Before I could react, the television picture cleared. The corridor filled the screen. This time it wasn't empty. Figures lined both sides of the hallway. They stood perfectly still, heads lowered, waiting. Then, one by one, they slowly lifted their faces. Every single one was me. Together they spoke one sentence. We've been waiting for the original. The screen went black. The silence that followed felt heavier than the words. The next morning, I drove back to the abandoned warehouse where I had first discovered the impossible recording. The building was gone. Not abandoned. Gone. In its place stood a newly built office complex. It looked as though it had existed for years. People entered through glass doors. Employees laughed over coffee. No signs of construction. No trace of the warehouse. I asked a security guard what used to stand there. He frowned. Nothing. There has always been an office here. I showed him an old photo stored on my phone. The warehouse. The broken entrance. The rusted walls. He stared at it for several seconds. Then his expression changed. I've seen this place. Where? He looked frightened. In my dreams. Before I could ask another question, his radio burst into static. A distorted voice repeated only one phrase. He's remembering. The guard dropped the radio as though it had burned him. When I looked back at the office building, every window reflected the corridor instead of the sky. Then someone inside waved at me. It was me. I ran into the building. Employees looked at me as though nothing was wrong. No one reacted when I asked about the man in the window. They insisted no one had been standing there. I reached the top floor. The office at the end of the corridor was empty. Almost. A single chair faced the window. On the desk sat an old cassette recorder. It was already playing. A voice filled the room. Mine. If you're hearing this, you've made the same mistake again. The recording continued. You keep trying to destroy the corridor. You still don't understand. The corridor isn't trapping you. It's protecting everyone else. My breathing stopped. The voice sounded exhausted. Older. As if it had spent decades trying to explain the same thing. You think something lives inside the corridor. A pause. No. It lives outside. The tape clicked. Silence. Then the window behind me shattered. Not outward. Inward. Thousands of pieces of glass floated into the room. Without making a sound. The floating shards never touched the floor. They hung in the air like frozen raindrops. Each piece reflected a different memory. I saw birthdays I didn't remember, schools I'd never attended, faces I'd never met. Entire years of my life that felt both familiar and impossible. Then one reflection held still. A young boy stood at the entrance of the corridor. He couldn't have been older than 10. He looked terrified. Slowly, he turned toward me. It was me, not another version, not a copy. Me, the child whispered. Don't let me go inside. I reached toward the glass. The moment my fingers touched it, every memory disappeared. The shards crashed to the floor all at once. The room shook violently. A deep metallic sound echoed beneath the building. It wasn't an earthquake. It sounded like an enormous door. Unlocking. The floor split open beneath the office. Darkness stretched below. Not concrete. Not earth. The corridor. It had never been underground. The building had been built above it. Blue lights pulsed endlessly into the distance. Then I noticed something different. One doorway stood open. It had never been opened before. Inside the doorway, someone sat at a desk covered with hundreds of television screens. Every screen displayed a different life, a different city, a different version of me. The figure slowly stood. Its face remained hidden in shadow. When it finally spoke, my heart stopped. It wasn't using my voice. It was using yours. The voice calmly said, "You've spent your whole life believing you were watching the story." A pause. You never realized. You were the recording. The doorway began to close. I ran toward it. Just before it slammed shut, I heard one final sentence echo through the corridor. Do not let him remember what happened before the first video. Then everything went black.